Factsverse presents. Here's what everyone was eating in the year you were born. Fad foods come and go. Some foods stick around for several years. For others, the popularity fizzles out pretty quick. When a new food is introduced, people go wild for it, and in some cases the food starts to get boring after a short time. In other cases, the food is so great it becomes a favorite for decades. Well, we have what everybody was eating in the year you were born. Before we get to that, though, jump down to the comments and let us know what your favorite food is. Also, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. If you were born in the 1960s, everybody was eating Jello. It was first introduced in the 60s and people just couldn't get enough of it. If you went to a party, you were sure to find a Jello mold on the dessert table. People were also adding fruit to their Jello to make it taste better, and it looked kind of cool too. Not long after Jello came out, Knox, a gelatin maker, came out with a recipe book dedicated to Jello. There were some pretty interesting recipes in the cookbook too. Jello is one food that has managed to stay popular for decades. Today you can buy instant Jello, or you can purchase cups of Jello that are already made to make eating it even more convenient. If you were born in the 70s, there's a pretty good chance that a brunch with your parents included Quiche Lorraine. It's a French dish that came from the Lorraine region, and people in the 70s couldn't get enough of it. The recipe was pretty simple to make. After filling a shallow pastry case with cooked eggs and cheese, you'd garnish it with bacon. As the popularity of this dish started to catch on, people began adding their own personal touches. By the mid-70s, people were adding tomatoes, spinach, and mushrooms to the dish. Salsa and black olives were also popular additions. It was one of the most popular breakfast dishes because not only was it delicious, it was also easy to cook. In the 1980s, people were getting sick of the same old methods of cooking chicken. Fried chicken, baked chicken, chicken noodle soup, they were all getting boring. And that's why people were really excited about chicken fricassee. It's an Italian dish that has never actually been served in Italy. It just has an Italian name to make it sound more interesting and authentic, I guess. It's actually a French recipe that's pretty simple to make. It's just a version of fried chicken that's doused in a lemon sauce. Some people call this dish chicken fricassee, others simply call it lemon chicken. Either way, it's delicious. There aren't too many Italian or French restaurants today that don't have chicken fricassee on the menu. It's hard to find anybody who doesn't love pizza. Pepperoni, sausage, onion, and green peppers, or just plain pizza, they were the most popular toppings before the 1990s. When celebrity chef Wolfgang Puck began to make a name for himself, we were introduced to fusion pizza. He believed the traditional toppings were boring, so he created fusion pizza. And it wasn't long after that pizza shops across the country were following his lead and coming up with some very interesting toppings. If you thought that a Hawaiian pizza with pineapple and ham was strange, you'd really have been shocked by toppings like tuna fish, crab meat, pickles, and chili. Buffalo chicken pizza was also a big hit. Fusion pizza made it possible for pizza chefs to come up with some crazy and delicious recipes at the same time. Fusion pizza really dominated the 90s, and it's still somewhat popular today. Party cake, also known as confetti cake, it first gained its popularity in the early 2000s. Party cake is a white cake with white frosting that contains different colors inside to make it look like confetti. Some party cakes just use food coloring to give it that confetti look. Other brands use different colored pieces of candy to create that party illusion. The frosting contains either candy or sprinkles. As party cakes gained popularity, you could buy a cake mix to make a party cake, or you could buy a ready-made party cake from popular manufacturers such as Entenmann's. Party cake is still popular today, almost 20 years after it first came out. The 2010s, they've been a decade dedicated to healthy eating, and that's why fruit smoothies have become so popular. You can use just about any fruit to make a smoothie, and they are cold and delicious. In the early days of fruit smoothies, you needed to have a blender, but today you can find ready-made fruit smoothies in the refrigerated section of your local grocery store. You can also buy fruit smoothie mixes that you can make at home on your own without worrying about making a mess. Since healthy eating is in today, the popularity of fruit smoothies is destined to last for several years to come. What do you think is going to be the next trendy food in the 2020s? Tell us in the comments, and subscribe for more.